Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. I'm so glad that you clicked on this video because we're gonna have some fun today. I have a sandwich. There's my sandwich. And I'm very excited to get out here and to go fishing. I also need to undo my trolling motor here. And I am so glad to be here because, man, I'm just glad to be here. I don't know. I'm just happy. I'm happy that you guys are here. I'm happy that you clicked on this video. It's a beautiful day. Take a deep breath for me. Enjoy your day today, even after you watch this video. And yeah, without further ado, I'm going to shut up. We're going to get into this and let's go see if we can catch some fish. Finally. There we go. I was getting worried. Not a big one, but it's finally a fish. It's finally a fish. Thanks, buddy. Got him. That was hilarious. That's great. He smashed that thing and then came right back up to the surface and ate it. That's funny. Stop it. Stop. Really, dude? There you go. How in the world did I stick myself doing that too? Okay, little bitty dude. I mean, just tiny. He caused me more trouble, bud. Get out of here. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's what we're looking for. A little bit better. Got it T-boned. That's what we like right there. Yes. 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 Oh yeah, boys and girls. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come here, buddy. Freaking T-bone that thing too. That's what we like. Drop it. A little chunky. Ain't a giant, but he's a little chunk. That's all that matters. Fun. Fun. Thank you, sir. Thank you for participating. It's I'll be honest, it's not like on. They're not like biting super duper well. I'm getting bites every now and again. I mean, I'm just covering a ton of water. I mean, I probably fished a quarter mile of bank and got 3 bites, but they're bites. Seems like if you can get one to react, they want to react, because the thing is when I slowed down and picked up a Ned rig, that was no bueno. That's the one thing about forward facing, I will say. It frustrates the devil out of me because I don't know how to use it well, but it is pretty amazing when you see them sitting on the bottom and you drag a Ned rig past them and they scatter away from it. It kind of tells you like, oh, those fish are definitely not actively feeding and they don't want anything to do with what I'm throwing. And so go pick up a crankbait and get something to react, because I'd rather get them to react than to try to trick them any day of the week. But yeah, there's bite number tres poisson. That was 2 different languages. That was French and Spanish put together. What is, I can never remember freaking fish in Spanish. I don't know, comment that down below. Fish in Spanish, I forgot what that word is. So one thing you're gonna run into on the old internets, and really run into anywhere, TV, whatever, is people who work with companies. Like I work with a company, if you're gonna be totally transparent, I work with Abu Garcia and Pure Fish in Berkeley and all that. But when those people work with those companies, what they'll do is they'll get like really expensive gear. And when they get that really expensive gear for free, they start to forget how expensive gear is, and when they have to actually like go to the store and like buy tackle, buy gear, they start to realize how expensive stuff actually is. And the thing is, there's a time and there's a place for expensive gear, right? There's people who have the money to be able to buy it, but I was always that guy who could not afford expensive gear, and I still am. I mean, I'm not a dude who's going to go out and spend $200, $300, $400 on something. Now, I've got some expensive rods and reels, that's for absolutely certain, blessed to have them, but the one thing that I always try to keep in mind is just the normal consumer, where I was, you know, 5-6 years ago, before I worked with an awesome company like Pure Fishing, and when I was trying to buy gear. And so I think affordably, I really do. I still think affordably. I mean, me and Bethany, we budget, we buy things affordably, but affordability right here, Vendetta, Abu Garcia Vendetta. It's what I'm using for my cranking rod right now. 7-foot medium moderate action. I had one of these things before, actually broke it, and it was my fault. It was one of those deals I stepped on it and just it shattered. But I love that freaking rod, and I kind of forgot about it. I got that Elite Fenwick, and then I had the opportunity to get another one of these, and I was like, yeah, send it over, because I love this rod. At 89 bucks, it is a phenomenal cranking rod, because normally when you think about like technique specific rods and reels, you know, for crankbaits, for jerkbaits and stuff like that, they can be really expensive. You know, you're getting up in that $150, $200, even $250 range, and this thing is epic for a crankbait. It's got that parabolic bend that I want. It loads well. It's got good components. $89 price point. I mean, you can buy 3 of these things for what some rods that are technique specific to crankbaits would cost, you know, just one rod. And so, I don't know, I was excited about this rod. Kind of excited to share this with you guys. I wanted to share it with you. If you want more information about it, make sure to comment down below, let me know, or check out the pinned comment. All the information about this rod will be there, but go check it out. They've got a whole series in the Vendetta that are all 89 bucks. I mean, you can pretty much buy every rod that you would need, from a jerkbait rod all the way up to like a heavy mat flipping rod in this Vendetta series, and they're all 89 bucks, which is bad freaking ass. So yes, the Vendetta. There we go. That's fun. That was cool. I watched that fish, guys. He came off that tree, missed the crankbait, and you guys saw I stopped and twitched it, and he pounded it. I haven't pounded. I mean, he kind of barely got hooked, but I gotta get that. That was cool. That was cool. Just gotta keep his crankbait in the water. Not a big one again, but the thing about this time of year, especially on this lake, there's like a turning point. Like, they'll go from that size to freaking 4-pounders, and I wish I knew why. I don't know what it is. It's just like, it's like the big ones finally are like, okay, you know, time for us to go do our thing, and they'll move up and start eating. So run into the small, I mean, we can still run into a big one, but all these fish seem to be on wood too. So we're getting it going here. This front, you can't tell, but right back here, you guys can probably see that cloud cover moving in. That's a big front moving in. It's bringing in absolutely just like dump rain tomorrow, bringing in a bunch of cold weather. So that thing's finally moving in. The wind in front of it's pushing in, and that wind started blowing these fish in position, started eating a little bit better. So we're just gonna keep pounding on them. There we go. That's a better one. Get out of there. Ah, there we go. That's a brown fish. He is a unit. Look at that little dude. Yeah, he's pinned his mouth shut too. Yeah. Boy. Okay. Little unit. I mean, look at him. He's like a freaking brick. He's pretty though. I love when they do it. Look at him. Look at him. Just, I mean, a ball of pissed off muscle biting my finger. That's awesome. Heck yeah. Thanks, buddy. I love that crap so much. Oh, I love it. So I'll be honest. It's getting there, but it ain't there yet. I'm covering a lot of water. These fish are wanting to get up here and do this whole crankbait bite thing and get on these bluff walls. And I mean, they're here. I think one misconception as fishermen we have a lot is that there's not, you know, you don't get a bite and there's not fish in an area. No, I can promise you there's probably thousands of fish on these bluff walls. It's just we trick about a percent of a percent of a percent to actually eat what we're throwing. But you can tell they're wanting to get up here. It's just about moving a lot of water. And I think what they're waiting for is some stability. See, so this water is 40, what's 50 now, is 48 when I got here this morning. It's only been that way for about a day and a half. We had a really cold rain move in, dropped the surface temperature quite a bit, and then it warmed back up, and now it's cooling back down again. And you know, we went from like 65 to 27 to 65 to 17, and it's just that instability, just like with us, it makes the fish unstable. And so this time of year, it's kind of hard to not get discouraged because you're not getting the bites that you think you should be getting, because they should be doing those winter patterns. But what you don't realize is, without really watching that water temperature, which is super imperative for me. I mean, you can have every electronic in the world, but I still think that mapping and basic water temperature can play more than anything else. You know, watching that temperature fluctuate just like the air temperature is fluctuating, those fish are waiting on stability. And so as soon as this crap stabilizes out, when it hits that like 45 to 50 degree range and it stays somewhere in there, you know, like a 45, 46, and it stays there 3, 4, 5 a week, that's when these fish are really going to move up here, and you know, and they're going to start to be willing to bite a little bit more. And right now what we're seeing is just the beginning remnants of those fish that are wanting to move up and they're wanting to eat this crankbait and do some more winter style stuff. And then from that point, you're going to have some more instability that comes in just because it's winter, and you know, you're going to have more cold fronts to move through, you're going to have rain, you're going to have snow, you know. But once you get that kind of stability and they kind of get in an area, well, then it's just about adjusting to, you know, new things that come in from there, which you guys saw last year. And I mean, sometimes it can be as simple as a retrieve change to as, you know, advanced as literally knowing when to pick up another bait. And so here it goes, right? This is winter fishing. We're about to start heading down that rabbit hole right now, and I'm going to be out here, I'm going to be fishing, I'm going to be experiencing this with you guys. And so make sure, if you've not subscribed yet, you're not part of what I got going on, to do that, because I'm going to be putting out videos, or I get hung up in trees like this, but I'm going to be putting out videos kind of following the progression of winter on through spring. And I mean, that's what this channel kind of is centered around, is getting out here, going fishing, hopefully giving you guys some tips that are actionable you can take and go catch fish with on your bodies of water when you need to be catching them on your bodies of water. And so, yeah, also getting hung up in trees, because that's what we do the best around here. Get hung up in these gosh dang trees. And I've really screwed that one up. I mean, look at that mess. There we go. There we go. That's a better one. There's a good one. There's a good one. There's a good one. There's a good one. Stay down. Stay down. Stay down. Stay down. Stay down. Come here. Yep. There's a better fish. Not a giant, but he's long. That's a good kayak fish. That's what that is. Oh, buddy. Let's be careful here. Let's get that out of here. There we go. There we go. Hooked it right where we want it. Right with the roof of the mouth. Heck yeah. He pounded it. These fish, man, they've not been up here long. They must have moved out a little bit deeper. You can just tell how pale they are. They're starting to eat. They're wanting to do it, and they're just not there yet. But heck yeah. Heck yeah. Good little bite too. I mean, he robbed it. It's funny. He must have followed that thing all the way off the bank, because he ate it right there. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's a good one. That's a good one. They're really going. There we go. Yep. you go. There you go. That's a little bit better one. On the old badger. That's what I'm talking about. Dang gone, that was fun. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, guys. Pretty fish, man. So beautiful. Oh! Wow. He was a very pretty fish. You guys saw him. Heck yeah. Came right up off of that. See that tree laying right there? He came right off that tree. He's right where he's supposed to be. Right where he's supposed to be. Heck yeah. All right, I want to talk to you guys about something, and that's setting the hook with a crankbait. A lot of people, I've heard this said, and it's not right, is you don't set the hook with treble hook baits. That's not correct. You just set the hook a different way. You know, when we think about setting the hook, there's a bunch of different ways that you can set the hook. You know, you got like the 6-2 straight up like you would with a jig or a frog or something, you know, with big single hooks that you're trying to jab into their face. And then there's more of like the sweep, and you sweep into a fish. Well, that's the kind of hook set that you want to do with a treble hook bait like a crankbait. And the thing is depending on the rod that you're fishing this crankbait on is going to depend on whether you want to do more reeling into your sweep, or if you just want to go ahead and sweep into that fish and let the rod do all the work. So the thing is, I know a lot of you guys, you know, we don't have very extensive gear collections, and that is fantastic. That is a-okay, because you may be beginning in your journey or you're fishing affordably, and that's fine. So you got 2 or 3 rods. Maybe you're throwing a crankbait on like a medium heavy. Well, the first thing is that's not what that rod is designed for. Like a medium heavy fast, it just means that that rod's not designed for fishing a treble hook bait. It's just simply not. But you can still get away with fishing a treble hook bait on that rod if you make a few modifications to how you're setting the hook, and these can help you to put more fish in the boat. And so if you're fishing like that medium heavy fast, that's the rod you got to fish a crankbait on, well then you're good. Just when you go to set the hook into that fish, you're going to want to reel and sweep very gently into that fish. And the reason for that is that fast action on that rod. What that means is that rod is going to load more quickly down in the blank. So like on a fast action rod, you set it and it may load like that, and that's really all the load that it's going to get. We're on like a moderate action rod, you guys can see like this rod, it's going to load all the way down to the second guide up from the reel seat, where a fast action may load up to like the 4th or 5th guide up from the reel seat. So that faster action, what that does is it means it loads faster into the backbone of the rod. And if you load very quickly into the backbone of the rod with a treble hook bait like this right here, that's a good fish, is you're going to rip that bait out of that fish's mouth. And this is a freaking good fish. Let me get this fish in the boat and we will keep talking. There we go. Heck yeah, guys. Over here just giving the tips out on fishing the crankbait, how we set the hook well on the crankbait and we catch us a nice one. That's what I'm talking about. All right, guys, it's the best largemouth of the day so far. Probably the biggest fish of the day so far too. He's a hefty little dude. Let's get this guy unpinned. He absolutely crushed that crankbait. That moderate action rod helps in that too. And I'll explain that to you guys here in just a second. Let's see if we can get this buddy unhooked here. There we go, man. Let's get that out of your face there. Let's get that out of your face right there. There we go, guys. Good little fish, just healthy. A little chunky dude. Ain't a giant, but he's healthy. That's freaking awesome. Thanks, buddy. Get out of here, man. Oh yeah, he's pissed. They're cold and they're pissed. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Man, that was good. Let's check our line real quick. We need to retie that. I'll tell you that right now. All right, guys. So like I was saying, and you guys actually just saw there, that my rod, being this cranking rod, is going to load a lot further down into the blank. And what that does is, as you guys saw with that fish, it allows that fish, number one, to get that bait, get a hold of it, without you pulling it away from them. You know, because with moving baits, unlike a bottom bait, you know, that's what a faster action rod is designed for, is a bottom bait. When they bite a bottom bait and you feel the bite on a bottom bait, they've already got it in their mouth. And so the one objective is to get that hook through that piece of plastic or past that jig skirt and that jig wig guard, and it is to just drive that hook into their face as deep as you can get it so you can put them in the boat. Where with a moving bait, like most of your treble hook baits or like a bladed jig, you don't feel, when you feel that bite or when that bait, that, you know, rod starts to load up and that fish starts to load up on that bait, you're still pulling that bait away from those fish. And so that more moderate action rod is going to have a more delayed sensitivity, so that when you feel the bite, that fish has had a chance to get a hold of that bait, and then when you set the hook into them and it bends way down into that blank, it's not ripping those treble hooks out, but it's driving those treble hooks into that fish's mouth, into their face, wherever you guys happen to hook those fish at. And that's going to actually help you to keep those fish pinned better and put more fish into the boat. So like I said, if you're fishing a medium heavy fast, you know, that faster action rod, reel more and set the hook with a sweep very gently into those fish, because you might rip those treble hooks out of that fish's face. And then if you can, go ahead and upgrade and get yourself a rod that you're going to use for your treble hook baits, for your bladed jigs, for those moving style baits, so that you can have more opportunity to put more fish into the boat. But yeah, I mean, that's just a quick tip, guys. You know, it's one of those things that a lot of people, they kind of don't understand rod actions. You know, they don't understand like a medium heavy versus a medium heavy fast versus a moderate fast versus an extra fast. You know, all these rods are very different. And when it comes to the power of the rod, that's like, you know, your medium heavy, your heavy, that's just going to tell you kind of the lure weight that thing can toss around, kind of what the job it's made for. So like, you know, an extra 711 extra heavy, well, that's big jobs. You know, that's getting fish out of grass, that's throwing big baits. But then the action, the fast action or the moderate fast action, is going to tell you how much that rod is actually going to bend. And just a kind of rule of thumb is, more bend is for moving in treble hooks, less bend is for when you're trying to stick them in the face with one big hook. So just keep that in mind when you're purchasing rods. I think it's really imperative, like when we're fishing crankbaits and stuff like that, to have the right rod. You know, I've always been a big proponent of, you want a good, like all-purpose Texas rig jig rod, something you can jam, you know, a hook into their face with. You want a good spinning rod, and you want a good treble hook bait rod or a good crankbait rod. And I think those three rods, you can do a lot of damage with those three rods. But let's move down here to this next spot. I got a feeling with the way that these fish bit on this bank, this next spot's going to be good. At least we can hope. Yeah, that's fine. Get one with Dad in it. Yeah. Okay, hold on. That's freaking big. That's big. There we go. Stay hooked. Stay hooked. Stay hooked. What's it jumping? Stay hooked. Stay hooked. Stay hooked. Stay hooked. Stay hooked. Stop that. Stop that. I got him hooked right in the bottom of the face. There we go. In the boat. Over here again. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. There we go. That was a lot of fishing for that one little fish right there. Well, he ain't that little, but that's a lot of fishing. I fished down this bank. I mean, guys, I've been literally fishing for 3.5 miles of bank to get that bite right there. So there we go. God, he's pretty though. Look at him changing colors. Like, you can literally see him physically changing colors where he's stressed where we caught him. That's awesome. That's fun. Heck yeah. Thanks, bud. Well, there we go, guys. What a fun day out on the water. It started out slow, but we capitalized on what was available to us. And what was available to us was just putting our head down, grinding it out, and catching some fish on a crankbait. And honestly, any day I can get out here and wear a hoodie, a toboggan, crank a crankbait, and enjoy a beautiful winter day like we're having today is a day that I'm going to get out here and I'm going to do it without a complaint in the world, because it is a ton of fun. Like I said, if you've got any questions about any of the gear I use in this video, make sure to comment down below. I'll share some more information with you guys about that gear. And I just appreciate you guys so much for watching this video, taking time out to come spend it with me. You guys are amazing. And as always, you guys are sweet. And we will see